let's address the elephant in the room. We might as well get it out of the way. Chris, did he quit?
I don't think he did. I think it was great corner work by his team. Obviously, if you look at it, one, it's an orbital fracture in your eye, so it's only going to get worse the more it gets punched, and you could cause serious damage. And also, as a southpaw like Billy Joe Saunders is, his lead eye is the one facing Canelo, and obviously, you don't not being able to see in your lead eye against the pound for pound, arguably number one, isn't probably a wise idea, is it, for you, for if you want any future prospects? But I think that Saunders has called all this cutting game on himself in with his interviews and whatnot, because obviously he's the type of fighter that comes out and says, "I'd rather die in the ring." You've never had a fighter who shows as much heart and determination as me. And obviously, he didn't quit, but he finished up on his stool. But also, as well, when Dubois had the same injury, Saunders was all over social media ridiculing that. Now they're teammates, though, which is a bit of a strange one. But no, I think that for his own well-being and health, I think it was the correct decision.
Rob, do you think it's fair cop to give him a bit of stick because of his comments more than his actions in quitting, so to speak, or falling on his shield?
Yeah, there's an old saying that goes around, isn't there? And it's, really the saying of our times, by a poet called Jamie Vardy, and it's chat shit, get banged. and unfortunately, Billy Joe was chatting shit and he got banged. You don't go around criticising other fighters for quitting as a rule. There's a rule in boxing, professionals don't go around criticising other boxers, and especially something that you've not faced before. It's all well and good saying, "I'll fight through this, I'll fight through that." I remember when Kell Brook, because Kell Brook's done both his eyes in similar ways, hasn't he? And he said it weren't the pain that put him off, it was just the weird feeling of your eye dropping slightly, and you keep on pulling at it to push it up a little bit back into a socket that's no longer able to hold it. And it's just that weird feeling of having no vision and trying to push it. Nobody knows how they're going to react under them circumstances. So, yeah, Billy Joe Saunders chat shit and got banged, and now he's just got to come out there and face the music for me. He's got to say, apologise to Dubois, or just say, nope, fair enough. Now I know what it's like to take a shot like that and get an injury like that. I think Mark Tibbs has been very clever here in kind of deflecting it onto him and saying, "I stopped the fight, it was my call." And he kind of has to do that. Really, we don't know what got said in that corner. Billy Joe could have gone, whispered to him and just said, "Nah, I can't fight on with this." And then he stopped it. But you've seen in the last minute of that round, Billy Joe Saunders was just there to be punched, weren't he, when Canelo was gloating and whatever. And, getting some verbals in on him, which was quite nice to hear. After, especially what Billy Joe Saunders has said to him. So, yeah, I think he absolutely deserves the criticism. I think if he'd come out for a round 9, it would have been a serious damaging knockout for him. So he was absolutely right to win the fight there. But if you're going to go around talking the talk, prepare to face the music when it happens to you.
Yeah, you got to take it, haven't you?
I do think, though, a sign that he didn't quit was he showed he had got a bit of a chin on him, because to be able to still be standing and it didn't budge him too much, that uppercut that showed a bit of heart, I thought.
Yeah, he took the body shots well as well, didn't he? Which again surprised me, because he is a super middleweight, but a middleweight so he took the punches well.
But you say, Robert, there's a difference between taking a punch and just not being able to see. Well, for the rest of that round, he was just circling
in survival mode, weren't he? He was backing up to the ropes and hoping Canelo fell into him and he'd hold him. So that's ultimate survival mode. He couldn't have boxed another 15 minutes like that, could he? So there was nothing there for him to win anymore. So correct decision in calling it quits, 100%.
Chris, where does Billy Joe rank in challengers that Canelo's faced now? He's had a few, a lot of them British as well.
Yeah, he's 7 now, isn't it? 7 British fighters. I mean, you look at it, and I think it was sort of, I'd say, a similar attempt, maybe slightly better, to Amir Khan. because Amir Khan was in a similar mold of he won some rounds against Canelo and then just got obviously a horrible knockout similar that way. I thought Callum Smith, in hindsight, I thought only went for a payday. It showed in his performance. His brother Liam didn't really have the quality to do much, and I don't think there's much. I think it's got to do better than the Rocky Fielding attempt. But I think that Billy now, I think his career could all but be over with this injury. I mean, Kell Brook, that eye socket injury to him all but finished him. I think that Dubois is a bit different because he's obviously only 22, 23, so he can rebuild from this one. But I think Billy Joe, he's tried to climb Everest and he's not made it. So what can he do now? I think if he is going to stay on fighting, he has to go back down to middleweight because he hasn't got the power to threaten super middles. And I think if he does get his eye fully fixed, I think a brilliant fight for him stylistically, and I think he'd do the job on Golovkin.
Really? Wow. Rob, would you agree with that?
No, I think Golovkin would be a tough ask coming off an injury like that, because Golovkin carries big power, doesn't he? You know, and I just think if he's going to be landing on an already injured face, that could spell trouble for Saunders. Personally, I don't really see what Saunders has got left to give to the game anymore. I think he's made his money now. I think he's fought the best and lost. Give as good a challenge as he could have given. Probably a good time now to walk away before taking any more damage. He's won 2 world titles. I'd say this is a good point now just to walk away, because he could go in there with Golovkin and beat Golovkin or win a world title, like you're saying, if that's possible. But he's already won a world title at that weight class, and I don't think he's got anything left to really prove. Now he's gone in there with Canelo and proving he's a game man. I just think it's time for him to walk away, really. And I think he said before he'd leave boxing at 32. Is he 31, 32 now? But
yeah, he's 31.
You know, it's a good time for him to give it a go. I was listening to Barry Jones, who he gave up boxing after his first defeat, and he's a very, very good speaker. And he was saying the same. Probably a good time for Billy to walk away now with the cash in hand and do a runner.
The thing is, though, he's from that gypsy lifestyle where they're fighting men, aren't they? They're bred with boxing. He's been boxing since he's been like 4, so I think it'll be difficult for him to pack it up.
Yeah, they're made differently, them gypsies, aren't they? They don't quit.
We'll see. He's not done any pressure, has he? Because obviously he got rushed straight to hospital. But maybe early next week he'll have some things to say about what the future holds.
I don't know if this is fake news before I jumped on this pod, but has Tyson Fury said anything since this defeat? Because he was going very heavily on Billy Joe's winning this fight, and I've not seen or heard.
I think Eddie Hearn just got him in just to try and promote the fight for him a bit. But no, I think it's been radio silence from him. I think other than Mark Tibbs, there's no one really on Saunders' side who's spoke out.
Yeah, Mark Tibbs seems to have done most of the fronting up, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done well there as Tibbs. Like I say, it's deflecting the blame, isn't it? And with the way that Billy Joe spoke, and the best thing for him to do now is not say anything to avoid the media and let Tibbs soak up the I threw in the towel kind of thing and just let Billy recover. It's the best thing for him from a mental standpoint, even though I'd love to see him come out there and just face the music and, you know, give his explanation or on what happened. But I can't
needs to be more of that in boxing, of just, we were touched on it last week, and the whole warrior code and rubbish like that. It needs to be fighters just saying, there comes a time where you do need to, fall on your shield. And if Billy Joe can say that, then I think that would be a big step in the right direction to changing that mentality. Because
I think there are some coaches though that they're scared for their fighters to get knocked out, so they throw in the towel far too early. Like you see it with Jamie Moore. I think he does it a lot to his fighters. Whenever they're in trouble, he's very quick to whack out the towel.
And I think Jamie Moore more so because he's somebody who's been in them sorts of ugly contests, hasn't he? You know, like his scrap with Macklin, he probably knows like what it's like to feel coming under that sort of pressure. I do agree. I do think, you know, that there's no shame in avoiding that last night. There's no shame in backing out because he had no chance of winning with an injury like that. And it's not a quit, is it? It's just a TKO loss. That's how it should be considered. But like I say, Phil, we're still in a bit of a prehistoric age where fighters have to give off this, macho, machismo kind of like attitude towards fighting and quitting and whatever. And really, is it time to move on from that kind of belief? Look at like Ebony Bridges when she fought the other day with that horrendous eye injury and whatever, and went the distance there. Could she now come out and start saying, "Oh, I didn't quit when I were in that position"? And you know what I mean? You hope not, but
that was a swollen eye, wasn't it? Not a broken socket.
Not a broken orbital or whatever.
She did joke about it on Twitter, I think.
Did she?
Mm.
To be fair, after some of his comments about women, I think that's fair. He's, like I say, he's set himself up for a lot of the backlash, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He has, absolutely.